And welcome to another episode of Jason the Bart Show. He's Jason and I'm Bart. Wait, Jason's not here. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Anyway, we have another guest, Seth Goldstein from Goldstein Media. I think that's still what you run.
Yeah. It's just wearing my podcast hat right now to really screw you up.
No, hey, man, it's always good. Doing podcast. That's always fun.
I love it. Very
Uh,
meta.
well, Seth, tell us about yourself, sir.
Yeah, so I'm Seth Goldstein. I run Goldstein Media. Very clever name. Not as clever as, Bart's company, Sumo Heavy. I like that better. I might steal that name instead. But I've run Goldstein Media for 15 years. Almost, I think it's the same. I think we started our businesses around the same time.
Yeah, we just turned 13 this year.
Oh, so we're older than you. Oh, okay.
Well,
By
Sumo,
a little bit.
yes.
Yeah, Sumo. But even you, if you want to listen to Bart's episode over Entrepreneurs Enigma, you hear his whole story. So, but saying that, I do a podcast twice a week. It comes out twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Called Entrepreneurs Enigma. If you're watching the video, it's right there. And we have people like Bart on to talk about the entrepreneurial journey and what they do. And it's a good, way to reach out and talk to people.
Yeah. We'll talk about Goldstein Media. I think that's the bigger thing since this is an agency podcast.
It makes kind of sense there, doesn't it now? We are a small agency based out just north of Philadelphia in Doylestown. We do everything from websites and WordPress through, we'll dabble in Shopify if we have to, but we generally don't. We'll call in the big guns like Bart to do that. But and then we do SEO, pay-per-click. Yeah, not per click. I always screwed it up. But anyhow, paid marketing online, and then we do a lot of digital strategy overall, and we usually advise the client to go hire a kid right out of college who needs the experience to get the job, So that whole idea, we advise them on how to go about their strategy. We coach them through that and all that, and then we do email marketing and we do some podcast production. So we're kind of a full service agency.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of client?
The ones that are young, scrappy, but have some funds. We're kind of an enigma there, right there. They're young, they're scrappy, but they've gone through the seed round. They have a little bit of money, or all they have to throw with A round startups that have enough money, but they don't want to hire a marketing team yet. They're not quite there for the marketing team, or they have one or two people in the marketing department that need more people. But also on the flip side, we also do small businesses, so mom and pop shops. We do not deal with enterprise because when you start dealing with committee, I don't like dealing with committees. I deal with one or two people and getting the job done. So small SMBs, mostly bigger smalls, smaller mids.
Gotcha. How are you looking at the market right now? Obviously, everybody's having an interesting time at the moment with everything going on.
It's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we service a lot more sort of higher end, like more enterprise.
You're the enterprise. You're like literally an enterprise comes to me. I'm like, go talk to Bart.
We play the enterprise world. So that market is pretty tough at the moment. But
it's weird.
What are you seeing in the small market?
It's weird. That's what I'm going to say. There is money to be had, and people are realizing that they need to spend money on marketing, but things are getting pushed off a quarter here and there. Like a lot of things that were supposed to start in January didn't start till right now. So it's great for me right now. Things are starting right now, but it's July, not January. Different J, and it skipped over a J. It skipped over June as well. It was actually supposed to start in June. It didn't really start till July. Anyhow, but it really depends on what they're looking for. I mean, more strategies coming in where they want to use their existing stuff that they have. How can they best use it? Versus building something from scratch like websites. Websites are a little slow right now. Strategy's starting to pick up. It's interesting.
Yeah, interesting. We just talked about strategy stuff. Do you think our clients are, even on the small side, do you think they're actually applying up a lot more strategy things and actually are open to those things?
I think a lot of them are seeing that they're seeing that they don't have the budget necessarily to bring us in, in a full engagement. They're saying,
Yeah.
let's get started with the engagement. We like you. We like your team. We want to get things started. But, a $10,000, $20,000 website isn't going to float right now. Whereas if you want to pay me, whereas if they think, oh, we'll give him, we'll have a 3 or 4 month engagement at like 8 grand or 4 to 8 grand on SEO on an existing site. And that's if their site is good enough. I mean, sometimes their site's
Yeah.
not worth SEOing. It's like spend the 10 to 20 on get the site up to snuff, and then you'll get SEOs from that. So
Yeah. Yeah. What kind of advice do you have for clients that are looking for marketing or new builds or sort of that kind of stuff? Like, yeah, I don't know. Not a startup because that's a different world, but
that's
say it's a
completely wrong.
mom and pop type of place. Because those people have been burned before.
Oh
They
yeah.
get right. They get hit up for different things. Like, what's the advice there?
Don't go for the cheapest at all. Don't go for the cheapest person coming to sell to your website for $500. You're gonna get burned. You're gonna get crap. Even if it looks halfway decent, they've done something wrong in
Right.
there. I'd say you should expect for a decent website anywhere from 6,500 on up for a basic site. Now, 15 years ago, I would have said that would have been 1,500 inflation, and price of goods sold, getting people, getting a good team together, all that has made things 65 on up. I would say, and for good SEO, I would say anywhere from 4K on up, 4 on the low end, where you're gonna still get decent, but you might not get, the crown jewels, but you'll get somewhere at 4. You can usually find someone at 4.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, that's some of the hardest things. Like those guys do definitely get hit up for different things, and
Mhm.
everybody sells in the world for nothing.
I get hit up and I do this stuff by the same people saying, "Well, do your SEO for your website." And I'm like, "Did you even look at my website?
My
It says that
favorite
no."
one's like, can we help you optimize your Shopify store? I'm like, where am I selling? I don't have a store. Good luck with that.
Oh my god, they don't even try. There's like, man, they send them out. So
I mean, what do you think of like cold email right now? It's been like
depends.
insane.
It depends. Yeah, they're trying it now. Cold
Yeah,
email wasn't bad if you use Woodpecker or something like that, and kind of got your email address, a separate email address rocking and rolling, and past spam filters. Back before it was popular to do that, it worked some.
right.
Not anymore because everyone now, if you say, "Hey, just let me know if you want to unsubscribe when news, or if you just want to not be contacted again, let us know." Instead of having an unsubscribe button, that means you're using something like Woodpecker that's looking for that unsubscribe me, or get lost, or buzz off, buzzard. Like
Yeah,
that is a tool that is saying, "All right, they don't want to be contacted again." So that it's still not genuine.
yeah. It's still
You can, it's a little
they're
more
so.
genuine than it's a little bit more genuine, but not
I
terrible.
mean, they're so bad. Like they tried to hit up the lit one. I got one was like, oh, go Owls because I went to Temple, and
Yeah, that's some
how about
effort.
that's not an effort. The
That's
next
more effort than
sentence
I
was,
get.
the next sentence was, were you excited about Bill Cosby speaking? I was like,
Ooh, that did not age well.
no, no,
No,
not at all.
no, but it's kind of funny. And now that I get all these bad emails from marketers trying to market to me to do stuff that I do.
Yeah,
When someone gets through the crowd and has an interesting pitch, I'll actually talk to them. Like, I have a call
yeah,
tomorrow with a company that might be able to help me because she was supposedly coming to Doylestown for a meeting. I mean, who comes to Doylestown for a meeting? I don't know.
I do that.
Whatever.
No, that trick I know.
This is
I've done
trick, and
that trick.
then she called in sick. She's like, "I'm not gonna make it. Let's do a Zoom call instead." I'm like, "Fine, whatever. If you actually were gonna make it to Doylestown, I would have gotten coffee with you because I feel you're in Doylestown, might as well." But
I
I'll
have
still
a
take her
trick.
call, but I will ask her, like, "Were you actually ever heading to Doylestown, or is that a trick?" I'm curious.
It's listen. I've done the trick before.
Yeah,
It works. I mean,
it does.
listen. If they say no, it's fine. You're not going anywhere, right?
And if
But
it's a
if they say
yes,
yes, you try to schedule all the things at the same time, right? Like you go hunting.
yeah,
That happens all the time. Like I've done that plenty. Or if
and it
I'm traveling with
works.
somebody else,
It
yeah, if
works.
I'm traveling for conferences, yeah, it works. It works, man.
And I'm going down to DC
It's
for a conference, and I'm making a bunch of meetings around that, so I can
mhm.
meet people. While I'm down there, I'm not gonna be able to sit in lessons or sessions all day. My ADHD brain won't be able to handle that, so I'll need to meet with people too. Air my brain out a little bit.
I mean, it's. I always do that just because if you're gonna do it, you're not only there for one thing. Might as well do multiple things at the same time.
Amen.
You know,
Yep.
got to get in there.
Absolutely.
What's your You guys do a lot of WordPress work. Is it just?
Yeah.
I know you said mainly WordPress work. How is? Listen, I haven't touched WordPress in so long. Um, we have some here and there. We actually moved over to Webflow for our site.
Oh, really?
Which, yeah, like it.
Of all the closed systems, Webflow is the best, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been good. It's decent. It's quick. We
Yeah.
like it. It works for us. We just think that WordPress is a little more, even though they have all the tools, it's a little harder to do for marketers to like internal marketers that really don't play with tech a lot, right? Like I can tell you experience,
That's the reason why I'm on maintenance and hosting for them. I
right?
maintain it and I host it for them. And
But
if they want
once you
me
get their
on
point,
board,
right? Yeah, once you
yeah,
get that point, some people can do it on their own, and I think that's
exactly.
the sort of what we wanted to do. I haven't been inside of WordPress on the back end, and
Oh, it's changed the back end supposedly in 6.4 is going to be completely revamped because they realize that it's not as friendly as it is in Webflow, as it is
yeah,
in Wix. No, Wix, I don't think it's friendly at all. Sorry, Morty. Morty Overstein is the head of SEO at Wix, and I always bust on him. I told him I was going to be on this show today, and I'm like, I'll name drop you real fast and tell you that Wix sucks. What does? Wix sucks. It's just,
podcast
it's
was
too
whispered
bloody
for.
you can do too much with it. Like it's like
Yeah,
if you want something at this particular angle, it doesn't matter if it looks good or not. You can put it there. You know how much code it took to put it there in the back end? It's gonna slow down your site exponentially because it really shouldn't have been there. And they say, "Well, we fixed that with CDNs and stuff." I'm like, no, you didn't. It still slows molasses.
why is it? Why is it? Yeah, I mean, it's still the belief of WordPress being. I mean, it's good. People do use a lot of it. I think it's just over hacked a lot of times instead of just being
Yeah, because you know
engineered.
why people don't update the damn plugins. I mean, seriously, just up. And I mean, yeah, granted, you can get a plugin to go sideways. And if you're on Bluehost and you're cheap $3 hosting, you're gonna be a common target. Like it goes back to price. If you want a
Yep.
decent website, you're gonna want decent hosting. And if
Yeah.
you have decent hosting, you're gonna want to spend a little bit more money. It's a trip. It just keeps going up. But in the end, you're gonna get a decent website with decent hosting that's not gonna get hacked.
Well, it's like people wanting a mansion on a trailer budget.
Yeah, or building a mansion in Levittown. You just don't do that. You're not gonna get your money back. They're
I mean,
all one-story houses.
you can. It's
No,
just
but
spend the money.
they're all one-story houses or one and a half. Like they're Cape Cods, and then you build this McMansion there. It's like doesn't fit. So that's inside basically. You went to Temple, you know what I'm talking about when I go to Levittown. Actually, people in New York know that too. So there's a Levittown in New York.
I grew up from Bristol, my friend, right next to Levittown.
Oh,
It's a,
you know what I'm
it's a
talking about?
nice
That everyone's one of those drives in the street, and all of a sudden
I
there'll
went.
be this gigantic house, and it's like, what? That's nowhere.
I went to Truman, man. That's my hometown.
I mean, I love Levittown. It's a cute area. It's just when there's this
Yeah,
big house in the middle, it's like, what?
that happens, man. Um, what are your thoughts on AI stuff right now in marketing?
Oh,
Yeah.
dangerous. Not dangerous that they're going to steal your data. Dangerous that you're going to misuse it and do something stupid. Like you can
Okay.
put and I'll expand on that. When you use it to come up with ideas, it's great to come up with ideas. Like give me 10 topics on social media, and it'll give you
Yep.
10 topics, and it'll give you an idea, so this saves you some time. Great use. Hey, jazz up this paragraph. It doesn't sound right. It'll
Yeah.
generally jazz it up. Then re-put your contractions back in because it doesn't know how to use contractions.
Mhm.
I noticed that. I use contractions when I write. It's very weird. But don't, or even the rough drafts. Say, hey, I want to write a 300-word blog post about X. Write me something. But don't then publish that. Go back and add your flair, add stuff in, do stuff that you need to do, make it your own. But
Yeah.
it's very good for writer's block. You just, when you're facing a blank page, you can say, hey Al, or hey A, whatever you want to call it, your the character that's ChatGPT or Bard or whoever it is.
Yeah.
It's Claude now, actually. And use that to get things started. I know there's a what is that one called? I forget. There's one that's a word processor. Only does Google Docs like stuff. Lex.page.
Yep.
LEX.page. I think I gave you a key for that, I think.
Yeah, I've seen Lex. Actually, Grammarly has been really good about it.
Really?
Grammarly has it built in. Yeah.
I was wondering about that because they've always been kind of AI.
Grammarly has it built in. So I use Superhuman as my mail app.
I never get into that.
I love Superhuman. I can't use anything else. It's insane. But they just built it into theirs.
Ooh.
It's great. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I've used it a whole bunch of times where it's like, here's a paragraph of a thing, make it in my voice or make it nicer, and it just does it, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic.
Soften this tone. Yeah, soften this tone to get something angry.
Right. I think looking at it from just writing is the wrong way to just look at it. Right. It's the production we do on our videos. It's all AI stuff. I've used Oasis is amazing.
I didn't check that one out yet.
Oasis is great. So this is insane. Sometimes when you need to get something concise or you need to get something out of your head, but the ending of it needs to be in like paragraphs and needs to be concise and has to have bullet points, you literally can just walk and talk to it and just blab. Like literally just
and it figures it out.
And just threw everything at it, and it will figure out what you said, how to like how to make it concise and stuff like that. I did it. Believe it or not, I did this with a contract one time, not long ago, and we just not in a legal like thing. And we just like, here's the points. Here's the thing I wanted to get across.
Statement of work, yeah.
No, I wanted to get actually, this was for a client. Like, here's all the things I wanted to get across to you in an email before we wrote a whole contract, and I just like spit it out, and it literally made it a nice, concise thing, beautifully. And you're like, well, this is awesome. It makes communication different.
It saves time. It avoids blabbing.
Saves time.
Yep. Yeah, exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
Just don't upload your face to those AI face generators, because unless you don't mind them using your face in the algorithm.
Your picture's everywhere now. You got to remember, you do this for a living, and you're online.
Oh, mine I don't care about. Mine, I'm like, it's out there. I'm like,
it's everywhere, man.
But they suck at my face. My face is not. I'm weird looking, but they do not get my face. I see people that have these, like, maybe because they're pretty, or I don't know, but like, I don't get it. Like, they cannot get my face. There's one as an anime one where it looked like I was like debonair and like all that. It was really good. I kept that one. Yeah. Otherwise, it looked like Goofy as a human.
They'll get there. It's one of those. It's not for everything, but it's a starting point. I think it just makes everything faster.
Great.
Cool. Before I ask you the last question of the show, tell us where people can find you, plug your stuff.
Absolutely.
All that fun
stuff. Find me over on goldsteinmedia.com, entrepreneursenigma.com. Yes, I know entrepreneur is really hard to spell. Try it 2 or 3 times and then just Google it, because I can't spell. I have it as a key command on my autocomplete. So I never write entrepreneur. I can always never get it right. I actually misspelled it on this hat, and I had to unstitch an arm. I had to unstitch it, so I didn't have to get a new hat. Inside, it happens. Entrepreneurs Enigma, you can find me over on LinkedIn as Seth Goldstein. Seth Goldstein? I think I'm Seth Goldstein.
I think.
I know I'm Seth Goldstein. I'm not sure about the URL. I think it's Seth Goldstein.
Yeah. Awesome. And the last questions of the show. What are you currently obsessed with?
My dog. All right. After I'll show you a picture of my dog, and you'll understand why. My dog is a 65-pound black curly-haired air doodle.
All right,
So she's
that's
50%
fun.
air. She's 50% Airedale, 30-something% poodle, and a
I can
little
see
lab.
a picture over there somewhere.
Yeah, she is a love bug, and I literally I can't go like 3 hours without snuggling because she's just
Nice.
so cute. She's just so cute. But
That's
no,
awesome.
but in the business sense, I'm obsessed with all these open source photo apps that are like people are actually sharing their photos and saying, "Hey, go use it. Just give me a credit line." I love that. I love that you're not stuck having to use Google, using stock photography. You can actually use people's photos. The Unsplash is great.
Yep.
And you say, "Hey, I got." And they only require you to say it. I always do. I always say, "Hey, Joe Stevens took this picture over on Unsplash." I know follow the links, but I give them credit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, my background on my Mac switches every day with Unsplash pictures.
Aren't you fancy?
I am fancy. Sometimes I'm fancy. So we try, man. We try here. Anyway, Seth, thank you for being on our show, and we will see you guys next time.